Trust the experts at Tires Plus. Real answers from real mechanics.
Purchase 4 eligible Firestone tires and receive up to $120 in a prepaid Visa gift card. Thinking service? Think Tires Plus.
With 28 on the shot clock, 53 on the game clock, sends it inside. Here's Allie Nelson to the right side. Cheddar's open, 4-3. On low, she scores!
PSP Network has one mission: promoting our local athletes while delivering pro-quality broadcast coverage. Stay up to date with the PSP Network on Twitter @NetworkPSP and on Facebook @The PSP Network. Like and follow our social media for your chance to win. PSP Network. It's game day. Whether you're looking for a full-service financial plan or planning for farm or business succession, Planning Team Financial Advisors is here to help you work toward achieving your financial goals. With locations in Bismarck, Garrison, and Center, our full-service team of professionals are dedicated to helping you work towards achieving your financial goals. Visit us online, planningteam.com. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member of FINRA and SIPC. Investment advice offered through GWM Advisors, LLC, doing business as Goss Advisors, a registered investment advisor. GWM Advisors, LLC, and Planning Team Financial Advisors are separate entities from LPL Financial.
Have real questions about your future? Here's your real answer. BSC offers hands-on training and a real college experience, making your future a reality. You don't have to travel far and wide for a really great education. Check us out at bismarckstate.edu.
BNC has been here for over 25 years.
We're still a community bank that's there for you.
When you come in with your business plan, your vision, your idea, we can make it a reality.
I love seeing projects come alive for our clients.
We're real people helping real people.
We know you, and we're always happy to see you.
We build relationships. You're part of the BNC family.
We are part of the community.
It's what we're built on.
Yours truly, BNC.
Got big plans? No matter what the size of the project, Bobcat of Mandan has a tough Bobcat skid steer or track loader for any job. Call Bobcat of Mandan and rent the perfect machine. Rentals are available by the day, week, or month with multiple attachment options and even a trailer when available. Special weekend rates too. Bobcat of Mandan also has Doosan excavators and payloaders, plus Coyote tractors for rent. Get the work done fast. Bobcat of Mandan on the Strip.
Would you enjoy waking up and not having to reach for your glasses? See clearly with LASIK from Bismarck Lasik. Imagine no more hassles or expenses of glasses and contacts. At Bismarck Lasik, our highly experienced LASIK surgeon, Dr. Stephen Wexler, and our state-of-the-art clinic can improve your vision through a quick corrective procedure that's affordable and life-changing. Book your free consultation with Bismarck Lasik. Call 701-222-2020, 701-222-2020, or schedule online at bismarcklasik.com.
The North Dakota Safety Council is dedicated to preventing injuries and saving lives by offering hundreds of safety courses. The NDSC helps workers return home safely every night and make sure schools are ready for any emergency. Our first aid training and defensive driving courses help save lives. We empower people through personal protection courses and operational risk assessments for businesses. We're a private, nonprofit organization committed to making North Dakota's homes, schools, communities, workplaces, and roads the safest in the nation. Learn more at ndsc.org.
The best part about working at BNC National Bank is developing relationships.
I love working with people.
We've been here for over 25 years.
We've grown just like our communities we're in.
But we still have that personal connection with our customers.
And that's why we can find the best solutions for them.
It feels great seeing projects around the community and knowing we're a small part of making that happen.
We're helping people buy their first homes.
Plan for the future.
From startups to big business.
We're part of the community.
And we're proud of it.
Yours truly, BNC.
This live digital radio broadcast presentation on the PSP Network is brought to you by BNC National Bank, Subway, Hub International Insurance, The Medicine Shop, Bismarck State College, Bobcat of Mandan, Tires Plus, Chuppy Chiropractic Clinic, Bismarck Lasik, and Planning Team Financial Advisors. Make sure to stay up to date with all things high school athletics at psp.network. Make sure to like and follow PSP Network on all social media platforms. PSP Network, It's game day. It's time for Overtime with Scott Woodmansee. Let's go live to the stadium in Bismarck, North Dakota. It's time for Overtime with Scott Woodmansee.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Overtime with Scott Woodmansee. Glad to have you aboard this morning on the PSP Network as we are live from the Stadium Lodge in Northwest Bismarck. Glad to have you aboard this morning. Hey, if you're looking for a place to watch some football, it's going to be a rainy, cold, dreary-looking day today. We'll make the Stadium Lodge your home this afternoon and then into the evening as the Bison get set to take on Northern Iowa. UND, I believe UND in action as well. But some good college football games on today, so make the Stadium Lodge your home. Full-service menu, drink specials, TVs on both sides, as Danny and the staff will certainly take care of you up here today at the Stadium Lodge. Also, they've got another contest coming up, I believe, next week. So check out the Facebook page at the Stadium and the Lodge for more information on that. Well, it was another busy Friday night last night for us here on the PSP Network as we had a couple of football games for you, a couple of games that, one game for sure that had some playoff implications as far as standings go, and that was the one up in the Magic City where the Legacy Sabres trailed a majority of that football game, but they were able to battle back late, and they were able to come out with a 28-19 victory over the Minot High Magicians. So that moves Legacy into 2-1 in the conference, and Legacy Minot drops to 2-2 in the conference. So certainly those two teams positioning themselves for a playoff run. Last another game we had for you in the PSP Network, well, it was the Century Patriots as they just steamrolled the Bismarck Demons by a score of 38-0. And Bismarck High, I thought they had their woes solved last week out in Dickinson, but last night that Century defense stood ground, and Century throws a shutout against Bismarck High. And then a wild one in Jamestown as the Mandan Braves survived 17-14, a missed 30-yard field goal by Jamestown with some time left in regulation. And then it was a Hail Mary pass by the Mandan Braves, and a pass interference call occurred on the goal line. And then it was a 36-yard field goal for the Mandan Braves, and they win that one 17-14 over the Jamestown Blue Jays. Now, that was a no contest, as that was a 2A versus an A. But Mandan with adding another victory, 17-14 over Jamestown. And Dickinson, well, they knocked off Williston by a score of 23-12. Coming up this week, as again, we'll have a couple of them. We'll have three of them for you on the PSP Network, as Bismarck High and Legacy will host Bismarck High. That's a 6:30 kick. We'll be on about 6:10. Jamestown will be in Minot in the Magic City. Mandan will be at West Fargo. And then a game that a lot of folks have probably put on their calendar. I know the Century Patriots have, and the Mustangs from West Fargo Cheyenne have. It'll be Century at West Fargo Cheyenne, and that one should be a fun one. That'll be a 7 o'clock kick there. So we'll have those for you right here on the PSP Network. On the Class A side of things last night, well, the St. Mary Saints got a victory. They got their first victory in the conference as they defeated Turtle Mountain 49-0. Valley City traveled up and knocked off Watford City 28-6. And then we said Mandan and Jamestown. Mandan 17, Jamestown 14, Dickinson 23-12. So if you look at the West Region standings in the Class A side, on the football side, Jamestown, they've clinched the division title. St. Mary's at 1-1, Jamestown 4-0, Dickinson 1-1, Turtle Mountain 1-2, and Watford City 0-3. And St. Mary's has some remaining games. Those will be all in conference games as Jamestown defeated St. Mary's early in the season. So the football side of things really starting to take shape. I know the 9-man has taken shape. We'll get to that for you here in a minute. But if you look across the WDA, the state soccer tournament going on today, I know there's the WDA cross-country meet will be in Dickinson this afternoon. So lots of the WDA boys tennis. They'll wrap up their season coming up at the state individual tournament in Grand Forks. So lots of things starting to wind down on the fall side of things. We've already put the girls' state, the girls' golf has already been. We've got a champion crown there, as we said. The West Region boys or the state boys tennis tournament, state soccer tournament going on right now, and out in Fargo. And in that today we'll have a couple of local schools competing for a consolation title at that state soccer tournament. As today for 5th place, and that I stand corrected. That is in Jamestown. Century and Bismarck High will battle for 5th place. Red River and Cheyenne will battle for 3rd. And Fargo Davies and Shanley will do battle at 1:30. That Century Bismarck game already underway. That's a 9:30 start, so a little chilly start to that one. But that championship game will be at 1:30 this afternoon between Davies and Fargo Shanley. We mentioned that the 9-man regular season has come to a close, and now they eye the first round of the playoffs coming up next. Those will take place next Saturday, and the first round pairings go like this on the 9-man side. Mayport CG will take on Enderlin Maple Valley in the opening round. The winner of that will get Lemoore Litchfield Marion, the number 1 seed in 9-man. And then it will be in the other game, South Border, the Mustangs will take on Grant County Flasher. That will be that one to be determined where that one will be. The first one will be at Mayville State. The winner of that will get Hettinger Scranton, the number 8 seed. This is all in the upper bracket. New Rockford Cheyenne will take on the North Prairie Cougars. That will be at New Rockford High School. The winner of that gets the number 4 seed, the Bottineau Braves. That'll be in Bottineau on October 23rd. St. John's and Four Winds will do battle at St. John, and the winner of that one will get Nelson County. In the lower half of things, a regional rivalry, Mott Regent New England will take on the Imperials from Napoleon Gackle Streeter. And the winner of that one will get the Holsteins from New Salem Elmont, as New Salem rolled over Mott Regent last night. And just a couple weeks prior, they also defeated Napoleon Gackle. They defeated the Imperials as well, so it'll be a rematch either way in that contest. And that winner of that one will have to travel out to take on New Salem. Lewis and Clark and Kenmare Bull Bells Burke Central will do battle, and the winner of that one will get the number 7 seed, Divide County. That will be up in Crosby. New Salem Elmont, by the way, the number 2 seed in the 9-man. Wyndmere Lidgerwood and Finley Sharon Hope Page will do battle. The winner of that will get the 3 seed Cavalier. And then Ray Powers Lake and Mohall Lansford Sherwood will do battle up in Ray. And then the winner of that will get the number 6 seed, the Mustangs from Surrey. So as we said, the 9-man has come to a close, the regular season. The A, I believe, has a couple weeks left, or 1 week left, as they start their playoffs on the 23rd. So certainly stay tuned to the PSP Network, as well as hopefully some of those 9-man games coming up around the corner. We'll be able to bring those to you right here on the PSP Network, as those certainly are a lot of fun when you do those 9-man games. But that is your bracket for that opening round of, and of course, this will all end on November the 12th in the Fargo Dome for the 9-man championship. But, boy, the opening round games, you just never know what's going to happen there. But as you get a little bit deeper into some of those quarterfinal and semifinal games, certainly a lot of excitement on the 9-man side. We look at some of the Class A scores going on last night. A big game. It was Bishop Ryan defeating Velva Garrison by a score of 20-12. That one had some seeding implications there. Lax Burlington comes up with a big win over Stanley. Rugby, they get a win over Newtown. Beaulah, the number one team in the state, they had a battle in Dickinson as Trinity gave them all they could handle. Beaulah comes away with that win by a score of 38-30. Bowman County, a team who received some votes, knocks off Hazen 46-7. Another local area score, Shiloh Christian on homecoming night knocked off Southern McLean 16-0. So the Class A season starting number 4 Kindred with a win over Oaks 47-12. The number 2 seeded Hillsborough Central Valley, they blanked Grafton by a score of 35-0. Langdon, Edmore, Munich. You've heard that name before when it comes to championship caliber teams, as they defeat Northern Cass 36-0. And that should pretty much put a wrap on a number of those. Another team that received votes, Central Cass, knocks off Linton HMB by a score of 34-14. So the Class A side of things, and this is a fun time of the year if you like football. Also today we can tell you the University of Mary Marauders on homecoming. They play host to Minnesota Duluth up here at the MDU Resource Community Bowl. It's going to be a rainy tailgate party for the Marauders, but you can count that they certainly will have some folks there. Let's take a look at what we got coming up here this morning on Overtime. As we'll start our show off, we'll talk with Brian Filibek. He's the head volleyball coach of the Beaulah Miners volleyball team, a team that certainly is making some noise out in the western half of the state on the Class B side. They've been in the poll. They received votes in the last volleyball poll. We'll talk with him. And then after that, we're going to go to the Frozen Pond as we're going to have our first chat on our new Overtime show with we'll talk with the Bobcats coach, Layne Sedevie. And then when we'll go up to, we'll go way up north. We'll go up to Crosby, and we'll talk with one of the head co-coaches of the Maroons from Divide County. We'll talk with Nate Nelson. That'll round out our 11 o'clock hour. We'll start the 11 o'clock hour off as their season has come to a close, but we'll talk with the head coach of the Bismarck Bucks, Rod Miller, find out just about what his thoughts on the pretty good season, nonetheless, for the Bucks. We'll find out more about that. And then also some other big news taking place today as the University of Mary hockey team will do battle tonight, and this will be the unveiling of their championship banner over in Mandan at the Starion Sports Complex at Schwann Arena. So certainly looking forward to talk with Dan Huntley. And then we were trying to effort Larry Sandy, but he's got some other commitments this morning. So we'll have an open hour. We'll try to effort another guest or two if we can during that 10-minute time slot. And then we'll round out the show. It's not baseball weather today, but we'll talk with John Bollinger, the general manager of the Bismarck Larks, to see how his team rebounded after that tough COVID season. So we'll talk with John Bollinger, talk a little baseball about that. So fun time of the year, lots of things going on, lot more champions to be crowned on the fall side of things. The winter sports right around the corner, and we'll have all the action for you right here on the PSP Network. Certainly, hey, if you're looking how to find us, go to psp.network, pull it up, go to live broadcasts. There you have it. Plug it into your phone in your car if you're heading from here to Fargo or wherever you're traveling across the state, and you can catch all the action right here at high school sports, overtime, you name it. We're going to have it for you. I know Nick Hallberg, the head cheese, he's getting excited as the hockey season right around the corner. So certainly I'm sure he's getting excited. And he even called me this morning and told me, hey, I'm excited. You got a little hockey today. So we'll pretend I'll pretend to know a lot about hockey when we talk to Layne Sedevie and Dan Huntley. Well, we'll take a timeout here on Overtime. When we come back, we'll talk a little Beaulah Miners volleyball with their head coach, Brian Filibek. You're listening to Overtime with Scott Woodmansee on the PSP Network. Back with more after this timeout.
You remember where this goes?
I don't know.
Are you sure it was a clicking and not a zoom, zoom?
I think your quash litter valve's stuck.
Do you even have insurance? If we soak it, So it should be good.
No matter how much you know or don't know about your vehicle, trust the experts at Tires Plus. Real answers from real mechanics.
Purchase 4 eligible Firestone tires and receive up to $120 in a prepaid Visa gift card. Thinking service? Think Tires Plus.
With 28 on the shot clock, 53 on the game clock, sends it inside. Here's Allie Nelson to the right side. Cheddar's open, 4-3. On low, she scores!
PSP Network has one mission: promoting our local athletes while delivering pro-quality broadcast coverage. Stay up to date with the PSP Network on Twitter @NetworkPSP and on Facebook @The PSP Network. Like and follow our social media for your chance to win. PSP Network. It's game day. Whether you're looking for a full-service financial plan or planning for farm or business succession, Planning Team Financial Advisors is here to help you work toward achieving your financial goals. With locations in Bismarck, Garrison, and Center, our full-service team of professionals are dedicated to helping you work towards achieving your financial goals. Visit us online, planningteam.com. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member of FINRA and SIPC. Investment advice offered through GWM Advisors, LLC, doing business as Goss Advisors, a registered investment advisor. GWM Advisors, LLC, and Planning Team Financial Advisors are separate entities from LPL Financial.
Have real questions about your future? Here's your real answer. BSC offers hands-on training and a real college experience, making your future a reality. You don't have to travel far and wide for a really great education. Check us out at bismarckstate.edu.
BNC has been here for over 25 years.
We're still a community bank that's there for you.
When you come in with your business plan, your vision, your idea, we can make it a reality.
I love seeing projects come alive for our clients.
We're real people helping real people.
We know you, and we're always happy to see you.
We build relationships. You're part of the BNC family.
We are part of the community.
It's what we're built on.
Yours truly, BNC.
Got big plans? No matter what the size of the project, Bobcat of Mandan has a tough Bobcat skid steer or track loader for any job. Call Bobcat of Mandan and rent the perfect machine. Rentals are available by the day, week, or month with multiple attachment options, and even a trailer when available. Special weekend rates too. Bobcat of Mandan also has Doosan excavators and payloaders, plus Coyote tractors for rent. Get the work done fast. Bobcat of Mandan on the Strip.
Would you enjoy waking up and not having to reach for your glasses? See clearly with Lasik from Bismarck Lasik. Imagine no more hassles or expenses of glasses and contacts. At Bismarck Lasik, our highly experienced LASIK surgeon, Dr. Stephen Wexler, and our state-of-the-art clinic can improve your vision through a quick corrective procedure that's affordable and life-changing. Book your free consultation with Bismarck Lasik. Call 701-222-2020, 701-222-2020, or schedule online at bismarcklasik.com.
The North Dakota Safety Council is dedicated to preventing injuries and saving lives by offering hundreds of safety courses. The NDSC helps workers return home safely every night and make sure schools are ready for any emergency. Our first aid training and defensive driving courses help save lives. We empower people through personal protection courses and operational risk assessments for businesses. We're a private, nonprofit organization committed to making North Dakota's homes, schools, communities, workplaces, and roads the safest in the nation. Learn more at ndsc.org.
Let's go back to the stadium and overtime with Scott Woodmansee.
Yeah, welcome back to Overtime with Scott Woodmansee. Glad to have you aboard this morning on the PSP Network. Hey, if you're looking for a place to enjoy some college football, make the Stadium Lodge your home this afternoon. A full-service menu, lots of specials. Our specials going on, and lots of TVs. You'll be able to catch just about any college football game you want today. Make the Stadium Lodge your home, as we are live from the Stadium Lodge this morning. So glad to have you aboard if you're joining us on the PSP Network. And we turn to our first guest this morning, and joining me right now is the head volleyball coach of the Beaulah Miners, Brian Filibek. Brian, good morning. How are you this morning?
Morning, Scott. Great to have some rain on the countryside today.
Yeah, everybody looks outside this morning and goes, well, what is this? What is this? Is something going wrong? But
right.
But nonetheless, Brian, certainly, I guess, as you guys look right now, and it just seems like it was a blur because it just seems like you got this thing started. But I want to take you back to the start of this volleyball season, and I know the great work that you do, and I think you guys had some pretty high hopes, and certainly you're receiving votes in the latest poll. You've been in that latest poll, but going back to the start of this season, Brian, I mean, just talk about what your outlook was and what your end-all be-all goal is for this Beaulah minor volleyball team.
Right. Kind of looking at our team this year, we knew we had a good wealth of experienced starters coming back. We only have 4 seniors, but 3 of those 4 had a lot court time from last year. We're all returning starters. We had a couple juniors in the lineup last year that were sophomores. And a sophomore too that got some playing time. So we had about 5-6 positions, either front row, back row that had seen varsity experience. So with that, and coupled with, we have some very athletic, talented girls in our program right now, and we set our goals pretty high. We want to win the Region 7 championship and get a bid in that state tournament, and that's kind of where we started with our goal. And we started that opening weekend with the Cold Country invite that Hazen and us and Beaulah co-host, and we made the goal bracket and finished 4th there, which we felt good about. We lost to Kenmare in the semifinals, who's a very decent team. We played them tough, so I think it was a good start, and we've been really rolling throughout the season. Fairly consistent. We were in Minot last week, or at the Larks Burlington, their big tournament, and saw some fantastic teams that are in the top 10. And I think we played some tough teams. We fell short a couple of them on close scores, but really we came back here after that tournament, played Heart River, who's kind of been one of our, they've kind of had our number over the years. We've gotten them a couple times, but I think they've beaten us more than we've beaten them. But we just played a very complete game on Thursday night and got a 3-0 win over them. And so I think playing that tougher competition is something that we needed to probably push our girls a little more and really get that focus level, as we're down to about 7-8 matches left, mostly all region games that are going to set up our seeding. So, we still have that goal of the region championship in mind, and going to push forward to get that accomplished.
Yeah, and you talk about, that tournament in the Larks, and, you talk about, mention some of the teams you just talked about there. Obviously, you mentioned Kenmare, they're number 7. You mentioned, a team that's in your region. I'm sure that a team that Dickinson Trinity, they're at number 10. But when you look at that tournament, Brian, I mean, and you look at the start of the season, those tournaments, and that's just kind of one of those tournaments to say, all right, let's see exactly what we got, what our rotation's going to be. But then you go to a tournament like that in Des Lacs, and as you said, how important do you think something like that is at this time of the year? And I think it gauges you with some of those teams. It appears that a lot of the teams are from the eastern half of the state that are in that top 10 with some other local flavor sprinkled in around here. But how big was a tournament like that for your girls at this time of the year?
Well, it's just a whole level of play. We've been in, our tournament is pretty decent. We were at Center and Shiloh's tournament, and we saw some nice teams out of Region 5 and Region 3 with Napoleon and Strasburg. We've played them. They're really decent. But, getting those teams out of the East, our pool in Des Lacs was pretty tough. We had Langdon, Oak Grove out of Fargo, and Lemoore, and Ray, who is always, good out of Region 8. And so it was really a chance. We played super tough against Langdon. We actually had them in the second set 24-18, and we could not close the deal and lost 26-24. But it really, let's look at some things. There's a couple rotations we've been kind of consistently seeing some problems with. So, when you play those really good teams, that exposes maybe some more weaknesses that you don't see playing some of the easier teams. So it kind of gave us a chance to take a look and fix some of those things and make some adjustments. But just, all those teams we played up there, we played Carrington also, Center Stanton. We played again up there, and they're always good out of Region 5. But you see such a different level of hitters. I think the hitters are seem like taller, they hit harder, and that's what you need to work on for your defense. And we've got to match up with Trinity, who they're sitting number 1 in our region. They beat us 3-1 here about a week ago, and we didn't play our best game against them. But I think we're going to need to play better defense and be more aggressive, and that's what you get out of that tournament at DLB is you get that level of competition that has to make yourself better. So yeah, we're fortunate to be invited to go to that tournament every year.
Well, and two, when you talk about that, I mean, if there's one team when you look up and down the lineup consistently, I mean, really year in and year out, that you want to gauge yourself against, it's probably that Langdon area Edmore Munich team, because there's a team that's really had some consistency as far as being in the state tournament, being in big matches. Yep. So certainly, yep. I'm sure the girls really took a lot out of that match again, and particularly even having the lead. But nonetheless, yep. those can all be learning experiences.
Well, absolutely. You got, Langdon is consistently in a state tournament. Lemoore, they've been, 3-time state champ a few years back, and they're kind of, I don't know if they're in the top 10 now. We're getting votes, I think, in there. Oak Grove was in the state tournament a couple years ago. So yeah, it's just having that talent to play against is something that you just can't replicate that in practice. So it's awesome.
And also we're talking with Brian Filibek, the head volleyball coach up in Beaulah. And, Brian, the other thing you talked about is, you mentioned, the seniors you had coming back with some experience. But I guess the one thing I look at in doing some research is you got to feel pretty pleased with what that Beaulah program looks like. You got 12 freshmen coming in, and you had some pretty good numbers. You got 30-some kids out this year for volleyball. So, I mean, it seems to me like the minor volleyball program's future looks pretty bright.
Well, it does. Had got tremendous numbers. I got to give my assistant coaches a lot of credit. They put a lot of time and helped me build a program. We try to start 3rd and 4th grade. We do a little minors kind of two-day-a-week camp for a month in February that my assistant coach Jenna Vagley runs that, and there's always 30 kids in that, so we've got just good numbers. And then Jen and I run the 5th and 6th grade teams where we go and play a area schedule kind of like 5th and 6th grade basketball does. And so we got big numbers there. Junior high program, I think we had around 30 girls in 7th and 8th grade there, so we've got a lot of girls that are interested. We work hard in the summer doing camps and putting stuff out there for girls to get involved. And we're finally seeing, a lot of the girls at the upper level and younger level really buying into what we're teaching, our philosophy, our skills, our core personal values. And it's really exciting time. And we put a lot of work in over the last, years since we've been doing it. And it's nice to see some of those things pay off, with good numbers and kids working hard. And the other thing is, we've just got some talent, and, you can't manufacture that out of nothing. So, and the girls, give the girls credit. They get in the weight room with Coach Dooley, our head football coach. He's our weight teacher at school, and his classes are packed. Every one of his sections are full with kids in there, boys and girls, and our girls are in there working out in the summer and during the year in his classes, and it's made a huge difference in our strength and stamina. So, it's just really what I see is everyone working together, and hopefully we'll see those rewards when the postseason comes now.
Well, yeah, and you talk about that, too, Brian, as far as, we talk to a lot of coaches, that during this time of the year, and I just wanted to get your real thoughts on it. I'm sure that, and it's, you see of a lot of it in Class A, on the Class 2A side or Class A, whatever sport you're playing. And on the Class B, you probably see a little bit more of it is the multi-sport athletes. And I'm guessing that you as a head coach are certainly, I don't know what your views are on that, but I'm guessing you've got a number of girls that, they put the volleyball shoes away and then they flip it over and put the basketball shoes on. But, I mean, how important do you think that is for you in the community of Beaulah for those kids to be multi-sport athletes, whether it's volleyball track, volleyball basketball, whatever that may be?
Oh, I think it's great. That's a tough one because JO or club volleyball is big, especially in the East, and but I don't know. In my mind, I think you get burned out doing one thing. Plus, it's hard on your body, and I like the cross training aspect of it. And plus the mental toughness that you're learning in different sports. And we've got. I think just about all of our athletes are in at least one other sport, and that's something we try and encourage from our volleyball staff is, you guys need to play something else. And a lot of our girls are 3-sport athletes. And we're fortunate, with our basketball program seeing success, but in the spring, we do have girls softball up here, and track. So they've got, and we've got, we've got a lot of girls, our spring sports, just about every girl's in either track or in softball. And we've seen tremendous success there in all our girls sports. And, about 4 years ago, our girls sports was really struggling, and some of the juniors and seniors sat down, they said, we want to, and they came to me and said, Coach, we set the goal on our own that we want to change the face of girls athletics in Beaulah.
Wow.
And I said, boy, that's a big statement to make on your own.
Is.
And that's kind of when they really started getting the weight room. And since then we've kind of seen, all right, we've got a little, each sport, volleyball, basketball, track, and softball. I think across the board, we've got a little higher seating. They finished a little higher. Our girls track team has won the region championship 2 years in a row. We've got a lot of state placers. Our girls softball team went to state last year for the first time in our program's history. So, you got to give our girls a lot of credit. Our basketball team, a few years ago, they were hardly winning any games. Last year, they were the number 2 seed in our region. And so, and they've got high expectations. They pretty much got their whole team back again this year. So, it's just, we just have a lot of high expectations right now with the girls. And I think when you're playing different sports, I guess back to the original question, playing those other sports, I think you see that different mental toughness, and you put yourself in different pressure situations. And I think it helps you handle those situations when you're in your current season. Plus, success breeds success, and those girls learning to win and learning to have confidence when, if you got to make a free throw and the game is tied, or make that serve and play, or you gotta get this last out. Having that confidence is so big, and I don't know, from my eyes, what I see is really carrying over in all of our girls programs. So I'm just happy that those girls set that goal and they're really working to accomplish it.
Well, certainly very impressive for young student athletes to step forward and do that. But certainly things are rolling in the right direction. Well, Brian, hey, I appreciate your time, my friend. I know first Saturday off, take a breath, step away, and get yourself rejuvenated for that home stretch and punch that ticket into the state tournament. All right, appreciate the time this morning.
You bet. Thanks, Scott. Appreciate the interview, and we'll see you down the road.
Okay, buddy. Take care. Brian Filibek, the head coach of the Beaulah Miners volleyball team, as they are embarking on that state tournament punch a ticket. But Dickinson Trinity, the number 10 team in the state, certainly standing in their way. But nonetheless, things are rolling up in Beaulah. We'll take another time out here on Overtime with Scott Woodmansee. We come back. We'll talk with the head coach of the Bismarck Bobcats, Layne Sedevie, back with more after this timeout.
You remember where this goes?
I don't know.
Are you sure it was a clicking and not a zzz?
I think your quash leader valve's stuck.
Do you even have insurance?
If we soak it, it should be good.
No matter how much you know or don't know about your vehicle, trust the experts at Tires Plus. Real answers from real mechanics.
Purchase 4 eligible Firestone tires and receive up to $120 in a prepaid Visa gift card. Thinking service? Think Tires Plus.
With 28 on the shot clock, 53 on the game clock, sends it inside. Here's Allie Nelson to the right side. Cheddar's open, 4-3. On low, she scores!
PSP Network has one mission: promoting our local athletes while delivering pro-quality broadcast coverage. Stay up to date with the PSP Network on Twitter @NetworkPSP and on Facebook @The PSP Network. Like and follow our social media for your chance to win. PSP Network. It's game day.
Whether you're looking... Let's go back to the stadium and overtime with Scott Woodmansee.
Welcome back to the Stadium Lodge. Glad to have you aboard this morning on the PSP Network. If you're looking for if you want to find us, go to pspnetwork.com, pull up live broadcasts, and there you go. Down with no app yet, but you can put it on your home screen, so it's right at your hands. Plug it into your Bluetooth in your car, and away you go. And you can hear all the action right here on the PSP network. Hey, you want a place to watch some college football today? Well, make the Stadium Lodge your home. It's rainy, it's dreary, or for that matter, if you want to stop in before you're on your way to the Mary game, do so. As specials going on today, full-service menu, as Danny and the staff will certainly take care of you up here at the Stadium Lodge. Well, now we turn our attention to the Frozen Pond, and joining me for the first time on the new Overtime with Scott Woodmansee, a regular guest on our previous Sports Zone. It's the head coach of the Bismarck Bobcats, Layne Sedevie. Seds, good morning. How are you, my friend? Things good?
Yeah, I mean, well, it's raining, so I mean that's a plus. I mean, I think everybody probably thinks that's an act of God right now, which it might be, because it's not a little rain either. It's probably a little bit too late for everybody, but hey, at least we're getting some moisture.
Well, nonetheless, yeah, I guess it's a great time of the year. If you're going to get a day like today, I know we've been blessed with such great weather, but as the hockey season is in full swing, football, college football, baseball playoffs are on, and boy, I tell you what, it's a great time to and sports are back, it appears, in these venues, and it's certainly, after what we've gone through, it's certainly a great time this time of the year.
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't know, I haven't watched a baseball game all year long, Woody, and God, I watched the whole playing game of the Yankees Red Sox. Maybe it's just a rivalry for me, or I was texting Garrett Roth. He's obviously a big Cubs fan, but just cool to see the people back in the stands and the atmosphere again. I mean, I think last year was tough for everybody outside of sports and definitely sports in general. So yeah, I mean, it's cool to see obviously fans back in our stadium again and just everywhere. I just think it's what makes sports pretty special.
Yeah, it certainly does. And we'll get into talking a little Bobcat hockey here, Layne, but I guess first and foremost, before your season's been underway, but I guess talk a little bit about what your off season was like. I mean, I know it's you end the season and you got to turn around right away and go at it again, but it just doesn't stop. But talk about what the Bobcats did, what your coaches and staff did in the off season, and the time it took to put together this 21-22 hockey team.
Well, it definitely happened fast. I mean, with some of the delays, we were delayed almost for a month during the course of the year, a month and a half. So the season went, we went into June, and it went from basically, we lost in the second round of the playoffs.
Yep.
And then it went right to, we wanted to obviously be in the Robertson Cup finals. We weren't able to be there, but we had top prospects the following weekend. So, for myself, I had to go down there and coach the Central. And then the next weekend we went into our camps, and, there was a couple weekends off. We got about 2 weeks off. It was not, usually we get, middle of May, seems like the Robertson Cup, but last year it was just everything was crammed due to, the season being a month and a half longer. So we went pretty much straight into camps, and, it's just it's a big turnaround for us this year. We lost, I think 17 guys to, Division I or the USHL. So we had a great year that way. We really pretty much set records for, if you want to call it player development and moving players on that way. But there's a lot of new faces on this new team here this year. So there's been, I would say, she's been a bumpy road.
Yep.
Probably never been in this situation. At least I haven't as a coach, other than probably my first year with Byron Poole. We struggled out of the gates. But we have a lot of guys who have not played at this level who are, I don't want to be critical, but we're finding out the hard way. And right now it's one of those things where it's kind of a pattern where we're making big mistakes, but we're making the same mistakes. And that's something I think you see out of a young team, that it's just got to get corrected at some point.
Yeah, and as you said, Layne, you touched on my next question is, off to the start that you are, and certainly it how does this, I guess what I'll say, you're so used to success and what you guys have done and what you've accomplished here as the Bobcats, and from a coaching perspective, with this young group of kids and kids that haven't played at this level, how does that change? Does that change your coaching style, maybe from what it was last year to this year?
Well, I think I think probably every year you do I think you get a feel for your team and and kind of what you have, and I think this year I've just, to be honest with you, Woody, it's almost where you still want to push them. I that's just me. That's my style of coaching, I would say. But to me, big picture, it's one of those things almost when you take a step back and you really look in the mirror as a coach, you really need to sit down and say, there are days where maybe they're a waste day, and that's probably with a veteran group when they don't show up and play. And what I mean by that is, you want to call it Herbie or the old again, where you kind of you just, it's conditioning day. And it's kind of a throwout day, but we haven't really had that this year. I just don't think we can afford to, because we need to get better. And when it's a Monday, if it's working on skills, if it's working on, now we can still do conditioning and you can still send a message, whatever you want to do. But we need to get, like I said, we need to work on stuff that we need to see translate into Friday and Saturday night in order for us to have success and get 2 points on a Friday and get 2 points on a Saturday. So I think from a coaching perspective, that's been maybe a little bit of the different part, is just trying to figure out and working on stuff that needs to start translating for these younger guys and allowing them to get better Monday through Thursday so that we do see it on a Friday, Saturday.
And you talk about when you bring in a young core, a young group, Layne, and I know you're 9 games into it, but you think these kids maybe it's too early, are starting to figure out really just how good this league is and the level of hockey that they are playing here in Bismarck?
Well, I definitely think so. I mean, if you look at our returners, Woody, Jonathan Zizki's our, if you want to call him our top dog. Ryan Taylor would have been our top dog, and Ryan Taylor just doesn't have any luck. We got him back from the USHL last Friday, and he made it 10 minutes in and got his third concussion in 6 months. And I don't know if Ryan Taylor is going to, he went home for a couple months, and it's one of those things. So that one obviously stings, but he needs to take care of his body before anything. Jonathan Zizki would be our next guy, who's, arguably a half a point defenseman for us last year, broke his wrist in exhibition. So hasn't played a game for us. And then, you go down the line as far as games played, and we don't have that in our returners. So
sure.
Patrick Johnson, we got back last Friday, who's a returner, and then he fractured his wrist on Saturday. So with having obviously the rookies, we haven't had the best luck of our veterans allowing them time to develop. But I think that's, to me, the biggest key about junior hockey is when you have if you want to call it a big turnover or somewhat of a rebuilding year. I mean, you look at last year, we had 6 returners. But those returners were George Granis, Tim Piowski, Lars Rodna, Austin Schwartz, and they allowed our young guys or our newer guys to really adapt and buy time for them. And I just don't. We haven't had that luxury with injuries and that sort of stuff, and some of our luck that way to allow our guys to maybe not play in the minutes that they're playing right now, because we're forced to have those guys in those roles with the injury bug that we do have early on here.
Yeah, certainly. Certainly it's going to be a hopefully not a long year, but an interesting year for the Bobcats. Tough loss last night, 4-1. But the thing about it is you get the chance to turn around and do it again tonight. And Layne, now one more before we let you go here. I looked. You got a new team in the division now, the North Iowa Bulls. So. It just seems like each and every year they keep adding teams to this league. But the North Iowa Bulls team, and not to mention they're leading the division right now, or tied for the lead in the division.
Yeah, so when I first started with Byron Woody, they were North Iowa. They were the North Iowa Outlaws, actually.
Okay.
And so they have had a team, and then it went dormant. They actually brought an NA3 team in there, but the Amarillo Bulls, they had the same owner as the NA3 team that was currently in North Iowa. So Amarillo moved their team to North Iowa, and so they have their roster from last year, which is a big help. So it's not a complete expansion team per se, because we don't have the luxury of how they're doing it in the National Hockey League with the expansion draft and all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
But Amarillo moving to North Iowa, the Amarillo Bulls, now the North Iowa Bulls, they did get that roster. So I mean that definitely, if I was going to start a new team, that's the one thing that you got to have, because you have to have those, or you would like to have those returners be able to help you, obviously, like what I'm just talking about early on, and allow those guys to, your new guys to have success. So, North Iowa's new, but they've been in the league before, so it's not something that's completely new, as we've traveled there before.
Sure. So the North Iowa Bulls and the Austin Bruins leading the division right now again tonight. Hey, if you want to take in some hockey, Layne, folks, where can they go if they're tuning in this morning on the PSP network to take in the Wings and the Bobcats tonight?
Yeah, they can buy and print at BismarckBobcats.com, or they can call the box office at 701-222-3300. And it's a special night for us tonight, Woody. We lose the hair tonight for kids' cancer and Brave the Shave. So, I think it's 12 years in a row that the hair is going bye for myself. But I know we have, quite a few guys stepping up to do it. So just kind of a, I don't know, it's a special night for the organization that way.
No question about it. You've done a great job with it each and every year. I've followed it, Layne. And, hey, man, as always, appreciate your time this morning. Keep up the great work, and we'll talk again soon, all right?
Thanks, buddy.
You got it, buddy. Layne Sedevie, the head coach of the Bismarck Bobcats, as his team in action again tonight against the Aberdeen Wings. We'll take another time out here on Overtime with Scott Woodmansee. We come back. We'll talk a little 9-man football with the head coach of the Divide County Maroons, Nate Nelson, back with more after this timeout.
You remember where this goes?
I don't know. Are you sure it was a clicking and not a zoom, zoom?
I think your quash litter valve's stuck.
Do you even have insurance?
If we soak it, it should be good.
No matter how much you know or don't know about your vehicle, trust the experts at Tires Plus. Real answers from real mechanics.
Purchase 4 eligible Firestone tires and receive up to $120 in a prepaid Visa gift card. Thinking service? Think Tires Plus.
With 28 on the shot clock, 53 on the game clock, sends it inside. Here's Allie Nelson, the right side. Cheddar's open, 4-3. On low, she scores!
PSP Network has one mission: promoting our local athletes while delivering pro-quality broadcast coverage. Stay up to date with the PSP Network on Twitter @NetworkPSP and on Facebook @The PSP Network. Like and follow our social media for your chance to win. PSP Network. It's game day. Whether you're looking for a full-service financial plan or planning for farm or business succession, Planning Team Financial Advisors is here to help you work toward achieving your financial goals. With locations in Bismarck, Garrison, and Center, our full-service team of professionals are dedicated to helping you work towards achieving your financial goals. Visit us online, planningteam.com. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member of FINRA and SIPC. Investment advice offered through GWM Advisors, LLC, doing business as Goss Advisors, a registered investment advisor. GWM Advisors, LLC, and Planning Team Financial Advisors are separate entities from LPL Financial.
Have real questions about your future? Here's your real answer. BSC offers hands-on training and a real college experience, making your future a reality. You don't have to travel far and wide for a really great education. Check us out at bismarckstate.edu.
BNC has been here for over 25 years.
We're still a community bank that's there for you.
When you come in with your business plan, your vision, your idea, we can make it a reality.
I love seeing projects come alive for our clients.
We're real people helping real people.
We know you, and we're always happy to see you.
We build relationships. You're part of the BNC family.
We are part of the community.
It's what we're built on.
Yours truly, BNC.
Got big plans? No matter what the size of the project, Bobcat of Mandan has a tough Bobcat skid steer or track loader for any job. Call Bobcat of Mandan and rent the perfect machine. Rentals are available by the day, week, or month with multiple attachment options and even a trailer when available. Special weekend rates too. Bobcat of Mandan also has Doosan excavators and payloaders, plus Coyote tractors for rent. Get the work done fast. Bobcat of Mandan on the Strip.
Would you enjoy waking up and not having to reach for your glasses? See clearly with Lasik from Bismarck Lasik. Imagine no more hassles or expenses of glasses and contacts. At Bismarck Lasik, our highly experienced LASIK surgeon, Dr. Stephen Wexler, and our state-of-the-art clinic can improve your vision through a quick corrective procedure that's affordable and life-changing. Book your free consultation with Bismarck Lasik. Call 701-222-2020, 701-222-2020, or schedule online at bismarcklasik.com.
The North Dakota Safety Council is dedicated to preventing injuries and saving lives by offering hundreds of safety courses. The NDSC helps workers return home safely every night and make sure schools are ready for any emergency. Our first aid training and defensive driving courses help save lives. We empower people through personal protection courses and operational risk assessments for businesses. We're a private, nonprofit organization committed to making North Dakota's homes, schools, communities, workplaces, and roads the safest in the nation. Learn more at ndsc.org.
Let's go back to the stadium and overtime with Scott Woodmansee.
Welcome back to the Stadium Lodge. Glad to have you aboard this morning on the PSP Network. Scott Woodmansee with you live from the Stadium Lodge as we keep rolling on this Saturday morning, a dreary Saturday morning, but hey, none other time to look for a place to watch some college football. Make the Stadium Lodge your home up here in Northwest Bismarck. Full-service menu as Danny and the staff will take care of you, not to mention a number of TVs on both sides. So make the Stadium Lodge your home for college football this afternoon. And speaking of football, brings us into our next guest as the 9-man football season has come to an end and the playoff brackets are out. And joining me right now is one of the co-head coaches of the Divide County Maroons up from Crosby, North Dakota, Nate Nelson. Nate, good morning. How are you this morning?
We're doing good. Thanks for having me on the show. Appreciate it.
Hey, you got it, sir. Well, Nate, just like a big tornado, the football season started, and here we are. Now we're looking at the playoffs. I mean, where did this 9-man season go?
I don't know. I tell you what, you play 8 consecutive Fridays, and everything is a blur because you're so busy between those. From Monday to Friday, it's a blur because you're busy 24/7 basically, and all of a sudden you look up and you're like, holy cow, the regular season's done. So it does go by fast. You gotta stop and look around and enjoy it every once in a while because if you blink, you'll miss it.
Well, as you guys are the winners of that of Region 8, and certainly, Nate, I guess let's go back to the start of this season. I mean, looking at some of the things yesterday and this morning, you guys came back with, a pretty good defensive lineup and some pretty good key offensive guys, and certainly that is showing to this point in the season. I mean, talk about how this football team from the start of the year to where you're at now maybe has developed, and has this team gotten better from week to week?
Yeah, you're exactly right. That's one of our goals, regardless of who we're playing or where we're playing, we want to get better every week. We want to get better in practice. We want to get better each time we go out there and play on Friday nights. And we really evaluate the film hard and look at what we did well and what we didn't do well and the things that we're not strong at. That's what we focus on the next week in practice. But yeah, we've done a good job getting better each week, not really focusing on the opponents, but focusing on us and trying to get better with the little things. And you add a couple little things together. That's what can make the big difference come playoff time, getting better each week. Yeah, as you said, as we're in near the playoff times, and, you go back to I want to go back a couple weeks and Nate, I was following you guys and Ray Powers Lake, and when I saw the final score, I thought maybe that was a halftime basketball score. But wow, I'll tell you what a shootout! A team that you guys always continue to battle up there, but nonetheless, a big win for your football team. Yeah, that was a crazy one. It was basically came down to last team that had the ball was probably going to be the one that was going to win because neither team could stop each other. I think we punted once and I think we turned them over twice, but that was it. It was just a back and forth battle, conflicting styles there. They really spread it out, run a lot of receivers out there, and they can spread you out and run the ball, and we're going to be a little more ground and pound and take a cloud of dust and 4 yards most of the time. But that was a fun game. That was a big one for us. That was a big one within the region. So we're glad we got that one. Not really one that I like watching the tape on when you coach defense and you give up 52 points. It's you kind of cringe when you watch that, but I guess you'll take a win no matter how you get it.
Yeah, certainly. And then I know you end the season last night, probably not the way you wanted to end the season. I mean, talk a little bit about the Surrey knocks you off 42-20. I mean, talk a little bit about that last game of the season last night. Probably not a game you wanted to, as I said, you wanted to end on going in the playoffs. But, I mean, what happened against Surrey last night?
Well, Surrey's got a really good football team. I think they got mad because in week 2, Ray Powers Lake beat them by 2, and they seem to be playing angry ever since then. And they've really improved since then too. And they're a good football team. They have a really good back. They have a really good offensive line. They're defensively they are good. There's not really any weaknesses there. And we knew it was going to be a rock fight and a real physical game. And it's a tight game. It's 20-20 at the end of the third, and then we're down by 8 with 5 minutes to go. And then it kind of gets away from us. So we're right in there with a really good team. And Surrey's going to be a tough out in the playoffs. I think they got a good football team. They're well coached. It probably, it doesn't affect us. We're still the region champions. When the bracket comes out later today, it'll probably affect our seeding a little bit, I guess. It doesn't really matter. When you get in the playoffs, every team's good. So
it's out.
Good teams. Oh, the bracket's out.
It's out. The bracket is out, and right now, I'll tell you, Coach, and I'm glad I can give this to you right here on the PSP Network. Is you guys are the 7 seed, and you guys will get the winner of Lewis and Clark, Kenmare, Bull Bells, Burke Central.
Okay, yeah, we kind of figured we'd maybe be around the 7 or maybe the 8 seed. We didn't know for sure, and we knew going into it we'd play the winner of Berthold and Kenmare. So that's really what our focus is on. You don't really need to look at the rest of the bracket, because when you start doing that and saying, oh, this matchup and this matchup, it gets all screwed up, because there's always going to be things that throw a monkey wrench into it. So we're only focused on, we're going to take a look at some Kenmare tape and some Berthold tape this week and start getting ready for them starting tomorrow.
Yeah, and as you embark on that opening round matchup, obviously you get a week off, which is always nice. I guess I'll ask the question. I mean, have you guys been able to stay pretty healthy throughout the year, and with that in that week off? So really a nice time to get ready for that next team is. What is it maybe that the number one thing you guys got to get better at as you start this playoff run?
Yeah, we're. To address your first question, yeah, we are relatively healthy, which is, it's tough. And we played some physical games, and when you go bang, 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 and you got 8 varsity games in 8 weeks, and we also got 5 JV games we mixed in there, and some guys play a little bit of both, varsity and JV. That's a lot of wear and tear on the bodies, but we are relatively healthy going into this, and having the bye week gives us a chance. Next week we'll go to practice and go back to some fundamentals and go to some of that stuff that you kind of skip over when you're just working scheme a lot. So we'll go back to the fundamentals, but we will mix in some scheme, and it's nice to take a breath and relax and not have to worry about a game in 6 days, where we got 14 days to get ready for our next game.
Well, and not to mention, it's always nice when you can open the playoffs in your on your home field, and then, as you said, you never know what may happen along the way when you get to 9-man. And leading back to what you said about not looking ahead, but if somebody knocks somebody else off, who knows? You may get lucky and be able to host 2, but certainly having that time off, hosting a home game, that's got to be a pretty good outlook for your football team.
Yeah, we're excited about it. Playoffs is so much fun. It's just a fun time of the year for the kids and coaches, and there's a lot of pressure on you, but at the same time, there is that enjoyment factor where there's a lot of satisfaction when you can get a win in the playoffs in advance and just extend your season another week. You know, we have a great time working with the kids, trying to get better, and we want to extend it out as long as we can because we have so much fun doing our job. And in the playoffs, you know, it's a crazy animal because it's not always the best team that wins. It's a team that plays the best that wins. So, you know, you look at the teams that win it lately, you know, somewhere along the line, they got a good break or they got a good bounce or something happened that went in their favor. And you just never know when you're going to get that break and things are going to bounce your way one day where they didn't for the other team. So you got to be a little bit lucky in the playoffs, and you got to play your best football, and that's what we're hoping to do.
Well, and it seems, too, and just watching and following nine-man Nate, you know, when you look at those opening round games, which come up next Saturday, and then as you progress through it, I mean, it seems like you may get a few lopsided scores, you know, in that opening round, you know, here or there. You may have some good ones, but then, you know, when you get into that quarterfinal game and that semifinal game, boy, I tell you what, it's some dandy football when it comes to nine-man football. And I know we certainly enjoy one of my favorites games to cover is that nine-man championship game because it is let's get it out and let's go, depending upon who the two teams are.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. It's a wide open game because you got a lot of width of the field to cover, and coaches are smart nowadays, so they're finding ways to get their athletes the ball in space. So it can be a wide open game with a lot of action and a lot of scoring, and at the same time, it can also be a ground and pound game where you get 3 yards in a cloud of dust too. So you get a little bit of everything. I
can't tell you the last time I've seen a 7-6 9-man game.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while since you see those, but they do happen once in a while on a blue moon.
Yeah, they certainly do. Well, Nate, hey, as always, appreciate the time, my friend, and best of luck to you guys coming up in a couple weeks against whoever it may be, and hopefully we'll get a chance to see you down in Fargo.
Sounds great. Thanks for having me on the show. Appreciate it.
All right, you got it. Nate Nelson, the head coach or head co-coach, along with Bob Brown up in Divide County as the Maroons embark on their journey to the Fargo Dome as they await the winner of Lewis and Clark and Kenmare Bull Bells Burke Central coming up on the 23rd. We'll take another time out here on Overtime with Scott Woodmansee. When we come back, we'll talk. We'll stay on the gridiron. We'll talk a little indoor football with the head coach of the Bismarck Bucks, Rod Miller. Back with more after this timeout.
You remember where this goes?
I don't know. Are you sure it was a clicking and not a zoom, zoom?
I think your quash litter valve's stuck.
Do you even have insurance?
If we soak it, it should be good.
No matter how much you know or don't know about your vehicle, trust the experts at Tires Plus. Real answers from real mechanics.
Purchase 4 eligible Firestone tires and receive up to $120 in a prepaid Visa gift card. Thinking service? Think Tires Plus.
With 28 on the shot clock, 53 on the game clock, sends it inside. Here's Allie Nelson to the right side. Cheddar's open, 4-3. On low, she scores!
PSP Network has one mission: promoting our local athletes while delivering pro-quality broadcast coverage. Stay up to date with the PSP Network on Twitter @NetworkPSP and on Facebook @The PSP Network. Like and follow our social media for your chance to win. PSP Network. It's game day. Whether you're looking for a full-service financial plan or planning for farm or business succession, Planning Team Financial Advisors is here to help you work toward achieving your financial goals. With locations in Bismarck, Garrison, and Center, our full-service team of professionals are dedicated to helping you work towards achieving your financial goals. Visit us online, planningteam.com. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member of FINRA and SIPC. Investment advice offered through GWM Advisors, LLC, doing business as Goss Advisors, a registered investment advisor. GWM Advisors, LLC, and Planning Team Financial Advisors are separate entities from LPL Financial.
Have real questions about your future? Here's your real answer. BSC offers hands-on training and a real college experience, making your future a reality. You don't have to travel far and wide for a really great education. Check us out at bismarckstate.edu.
BNC has been here for over 25 years.
We're still a community bank that's there for you.
When you come in with your business plan, your vision, your idea, we can make it a reality.
I love seeing projects come alive for our clients.
We're real people helping real people.
We know you, and we're always happy to see you.
We build relationships.
You're part of the BNC family.
We are part of the community.
It's what we're built on.
Yours truly, BNC.
Got big plans? No matter what the size of the project, Bobcat of Mandan has a tough Bobcat skid steer or track loader for any job. Call Bobcat of Mandan and rent the perfect machine. Rentals are available by the day, week, or month with multiple attachment options, and even a trailer when available. Special weekend rates too. Bobcat of Mandan also has Doosan excavators and payloaders, plus Coyote tractors for rent. Get the work done fast. Bobcat of Mandan on the Strip.
Would you enjoy waking up and not having to reach for your glasses? See clearly with Lasik from Bismarck Lasik. Imagine no more hassles or expenses of glasses and contacts. At Bismarck Lasik, our highly experienced LASIK surgeon, Dr. Stephen Wexler, and our state-of-the-art clinic can improve your vision through a quick corrective procedure that's affordable and life-changing. Book your free consultation with Bismarck Lasik. Call 701-222-2020, 701-222-2020, or schedule online at bismarcklasik.com.
The North Dakota Safety.
Let's go back to the stadium and overtime with Scott Woodmansee.
Welcome back to the Stadium Lodge. Glad to have you aboard this morning on the PSP Network as we are live from the Stadium Lodge. If you're looking for a place to watch, the Bison football game, any college football going on this afternoon, make the Stadium Lodge your home this afternoon as full-service menu specials going on, and more importantly, number of TVs. A lot of Bison fans starting to file in right now, so make the Stadium Lodge your home this afternoon for college football. And speaking of football, well, we've talked a little 9-man football this morning. We've given you a rundown on the 11-man side of things, and now we're going to take it inside and talk a little indoor football. And joining me right now, the head coach of the Bismarck Bucks, Rod Miller. Coach, good morning, man. How are you this morning?
I'm trying to stay dry, but I'm doing well. How are you?
Hey, man. I'm going to just tell you right now, based on what went on this summer, people are okay with trying to stay dry up here right now because this is a much-needed rain that we've needed about 3 months ago.
Yeah, that I do know. We've been pretty dry most of the season, so I know as long as you know what, I'll take the rain. If it can stay rain, as long as the snow stays away a little longer, I'm fine.
Well, Coach, I guess, your season came to an end, back in August. It's been a few months now, and I'm sure you and your staff have had some time to reflect back and take a look at some things. And I guess your thoughts in the overall performance of this team. Saw some improvement on this team, and just talk about the overall recap of this Bucks football season.
I thought we made some drastic changes. We improved in some areas. I know we had some games we probably should have snuck out and won a little bit. We finished up with 7 regular season wins, and I think we probably could have finished with probably 8 or 9, honestly, if we would have did some things we should have done in those games and opportunities that we had. But, to go from 2 wins in our rebuild year to start the first year to come out and improve that, we were 1 game away from hosting and being the number 4 seed in the playoffs. So that was a drastic good change for us. Just to make the playoffs was good and have an opportunity to host a home game, meaning we'd finish as a 4th seed. So, we got some groundwork that we started. We got some momentum build, and that's what we're doing this offseason, trying to improve on that. This will be year 3 of my plan. So, we want to get double-digit wins and, get a playoff win and get a championship.
Well, and I think, too, Coach, when you look at this and take in strides, you talked about, the first year tough season, you talked about 2, then you take it up to 7 wins. And then, so really it's kind of, as you said, it's a building process. If you go from 2 to 10 or to 12, right, that's fantastic. But I think you got to feel pretty pleased, with that, because now you're starting to see some progression here with this with the Bucks football team.
No, I'm definitely pleased, never satisfied. You always want to get more wins. But
you're head coach, damn it. You're head coach. You're never satisfied.
But to know where we started from and what we did and try to build, you got to have progression. And the progression it happens. Rome wasn't built overnight. So, we're just trying to make sure that we can take the steps that we need. I thought we made some great changes, in in the office as well, and some for our presentation, game day presentation as well off the field, I thought was improved as well. So we're just trying to improve the overall organization to take us to the next level, and a lot of that, you said, is having the consistency and the backing. We just got approved by the big board last week actually a week and a half ago, for a new 5-year plan. So that really puts into perspective what I'm trying to do and gives you the leeway to know, hey, we're going to be here. So now we can put those pieces to the puzzle. They were very satisfied by how we progressed, from year 1 to year 2 and where we're going. They liked the plan that we had moving forward. So we're just trying to build a championship and get us a championship here in Bismarck.
Yeah, and two, when you look at it too, Rod, and you obviously these rebuilding years comes with new guys, and I know you had some quarterback issues this year. What was it? 6 or 7 quarterbacks? 5. I was going to say 5, 6 or 7 quarterbacks you had to use. But I guess the question I'll ask you, certainly, when you're looking at the caliber of this league and the style of this league, but I mean, how did the guys? Some of these new guys, probably new faces to Bismarck, never been here before. Probably some of them didn't know where the hell Bismarck was. But I mean, how did the guys take in just the community and the environment here in Bismarck?
The community's been very receptive, and that's what the guys like. We preached a family atmosphere, and that was part of what we're doing, and that was part of my task. When I first got here to Bismarck, I was like, where's Bismarck? So, but like I said, you want to win a championship, and that goes by environment. If you look at major cities, you look at, I know a lot of Cowboys fans, look at the Cowboys, look at the Falcons, major cities, Atlanta, Dallas. It's not about the city that you're in, it's the environment that you put. That's why you have Green Bay as a successful team and other places. So, that's what we got to get these guys coming here, and that's an environment that we're trying to do. So that's what we're building, and guys are excited about, coming. We got guys that normally have told me no before or sending messages now, hey, Coach, it may be interested. So, winning does that in a good environment, and I think having our training camp in Wofford City this year was something huge around this league because it's never been done in indoor football, having an off-site satellite training camp like the NFL does. So a lot of guys are talking about that. We just got another agreement with that to continue that on. So I think those are the type of things that help bring people here. It's not always about what you do, it's what you can have and what you can offer. And we can offer a good family environment, good fan support, and that's what we're trying to do.
And I think that's so important. You just touched on that. I know in my time with the Dakota Wizards and things like that people, they hear about the Dakota Wizards in these outlying communities in North Dakota and they want to go. And I think, when you can take the product to them and have them give them the experience in their home environment, in their home facilities and whatever, I think that really has a lot to say just about what you're doing as an organization and also, generating the interest in some of these outlying communities and getting people that want to drive to Bismarck to come watch the Bismarck Bucks play football.
Right, and that's it. That was actually my idea when me and you talk. I'm a realistic person, so I always tell people, North Dakota Bismarck is never going to have an NFL team, never going to have an NBA team. So why can't we make this? This is the highest level we can get. Why can't we make it that?
Absolutely.
Why can't we make it like Sioux Falls or like the Long Beach? Why can't we make it something that we can be proud of? So that was my thought process, and going out and reaching the other communities to come in. I mean, it's not a lot to do to win.
Yeah, and I think too, and I'll tell you, I think too, when you look at it, there's probably no better example in this area, and for that matter, as far as I'm concerned, around the country, than Sioux Falls. I mean, Sioux Falls has had a minor league basketball team for as long as I was there, and they're still there. Mm-hmm. And they've had an indoor football team. They've had a minor league baseball team. And, granted, Sioux Falls might be a little bit bigger, but it works because people have embraced that. Now, granted, winning helps.
Right.
Sure, we all know that.
Right.
But certainly, like you said, this is where we're going to be. This is the level we're going to be at, and I think it's time where people start embracing it. I always get the question, are we ever going to get a basketball team back here? Are we ever going to get a basketball team back here? And I don't know. But I just think you're right. This is what we have. And you just see what this league is doing. I mean, looking with some of the expansion you got coming down the road,
right.
My gosh. I mean, obviously, so you look at the Bucks, you look at the league behind them that's backing it. That's a pretty good combination right there.
Yeah, it is a good combination. And you look at, like you said, when you want to, people like I said, ask you about basketball, you got to get a basketball team. Well, what organizations and leagues are going to do is they're going to look at what kind of support you get from the other organizations. So for the people that ask you about basketball, if you want to get basketball back, come out and support what you do have now.
Yep.
And those things are what other organizations look at and what leagues look at. So, that's what we're trying to do. Like I said, if we can get the community behind us, that's what we're trying to do. We can make this, and you talk about recruiting. One thing that does help, and I'll be perfectly honest, I always bring up about North Dakota State. if you look at, just think about it. If you think about football and people think about the West Coast and down south, there's, there are FCS schools all over the South, all over the West Coast, but for some reason, like I said, they've won 8 out of the last 11 or 10 championships. There's a reason why, because it's a culture that's been started. So it can be done, and that's what we're trying to do on a professional level, is build that culture here.
Yeah, and we're talking with Rod Miller, head coach of the Bismarck Bucks, and coach, I know you've probably had to take a little bit of time off, but, some big things. Maybe there are some things you can say, but big things coming for 2022. I know, just looking at the expansion here, you've got, oh, my gosh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 new ones coming in?
Yeah, well, some of those new ones are teams that are coming back because, with the COVID pandemic, some teams opted out for last season.
Okay.
So some of those teams are coming back. Las Vegas has just brought in a new team, and that ownership group, that's the same owner that owns the Vegas Knights hockey team.
Yep.
Also owns the WNBA team as well. So, we got a lot of teams are coming in. This league is building. I don't know if you know, like I said, but all the games last year were broadcast live on TV, and during the course of the season, even our ownership group was responsible for broadcasting the nationwide game of the week. So, there's some good things that are happening here, recruiting-wise. Next Friday the 15th is the open starter free agency. We can start communication with other players from other teams, and then on the 30th you can start signing players for next season. So, we do have some things in the work. Like I said, the quarterback position is one, but that's kind of a double-edged sword because you want guys to improve. Out of those 5 quarterbacks that we had, we lost 2 because one had opportunity to go overseas to Germany, so he moved up. And then another quarterback came in, had opportunity to go to the CFL. So when you lose guys, that's what this is about. So I hate going through 5 quarterbacks, but I don't hate the reason because of that aspect of it, because those guys' opportunity to move up. And that's what people are looking at. We had 2 guys move up during the course of the season. Those are things that players look at, and that's something that's helping us as well as recruiting.
And the reality is it's the end-all, be-all, because that, and a lot of people probably take the mentality and go, well, these guys are going to play in the NFL. Well, come on, all you got to do is drop the name Kurt Warner.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all you got to do. And I'm sure you could rattle off a number more, but the reality is real, is that these guys, they play in this league, they do this, they bide their time, and the reality is that who knows what they may get a shot to get called into an NFL team and be on their practice squad or whatever. You just don't know that.
You don't know. Like I said, and that's why you take those opportunities. Like you said, you got your Kurt Warner, you got your Fred Jacksons, and you have some more as well. But flip it to the coaching side. People coach, well, what are you going to do from there? Well, you got to think about it. You look at NFL right now. You got Matt Nagy. I actually coached against him when he played in Arena League. Now he's a head coach. So you look at that. You had Jay Gruden, who was a coach for Orlando for a long time in here, and then also as well. And then you look at a coach over in Green Bay. He used to be actually in this league here and was with Omaha Beef. So before this, I should say, excuse me. So, people, coaches, players, there's opportunities for everyone. So you never know. So I would say always take an opportunity because you never know who you may see.
Well, that's exactly right. So certainly I'm sure a lot of folks are looking forward to any big things coming up that we can expect for 2022?
Right now, the biggest thing is, like I said, we're finalizing some things. We're trying to get a top-notch quarterback in here, so that's our first move, and that would be the first splash we'll make because once you do that, then all the other pieces fall into place because they have guys that may want to play with them. So that's going to be our big splash here, like I said, and so that would be probably here the next, I would say, the 3 weeks. The 30th was the first day we can sign, and my plan is to have a quarterback that I want to get that we're going to be talking to here shortly sign on that day. So that would be our first move out.
All right, sounds good. Well, Coach, hey man, appreciate you coming up. Congrats, on a good season, and hey, we'll do it again as we near the start of 2022, my man.
Most definitely, always glad to be here with you, buddy.
All right, buddy, you got it. Rod Miller, the head coach of the Bismarck Bucks, as they finish their season in August, but certainly looking forward to 2022. We'll take a timeout. We come back. We'll go back to the frozen pond. We'll talk with the head coach of the UMary hockey team, Dan Huntley, back with more with Overtime with Scott Woodmansee after this timeout.
You remember where this goes?
I don't know. Are you sure it was a clicking and not a zoom?
I think your quash litter valve's stuck.
Do you even have insurance?
If we soak it, it should be good.
No matter how much you know or don't know about your vehicle, trust the experts at Tires Plus. Real answers from real mechanics.
Purchase 4 eligible Firestone tires and receive up to $120 in a prepaid Visa gift card. Thinking service? Think Tires Plus.
With 28 on the shot clock, 53 on the game clock, sends it inside. Here's Allie Nelson to the right side. Cheddar's open, 4-3, on low, she scores!
PSP Network has one mission: promoting our local athletes while delivering pro-quality broadcast coverage. Stay up to date with the PSP Network on Twitter @NetworkPSP and on Facebook @The PSP Network. Like and follow our social media for your chance to win. PSP Network. It's game day. Whether you're looking for a full-service financial plan or planning for farm or business succession, Planning Team Financial Advisors is here to help you work toward achieving your financial goals. With locations in Bismarck, Garrison, and Center, our full-service team of professionals are dedicated to helping you work towards achieving your financial goals. Visit us online, planningteam.com. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member of FINRA and SIPC. Investment advice offered through GWM Advisors, LLC, doing business as Goss Advisors, a registered investment advisor. GWM Advisors, LLC, and Planning Team Financial Advisors are separate entities from LPL Financial.
Let's go back to the stadium and overtime with Scott Woodmansee.
Yeah, welcome back to the Stadium Lodge. Scott Woodmansee with you on the PSP Network. Glad to have you aboard this morning as we continue to roll through the 11 o'clock hour. Hey, if you're looking for a place to watch some college football, make the Stadium Lodge your home this afternoon as NDSU fans rolling in. I see some Duluth people coming in. Big Marauder homecoming game today up at the Starring Sports Complex. But nonetheless, make the Stadium Lodge your home here this afternoon. And speaking of the Marauders, also, well, there's just something else that is big going on tonight as the UMary hockey team is playing host to the University of Minnesota. But nonetheless, it is the unveiling of the national championship banner and ring ceremony. And joining me right now is their head coach, Dan Huntley. Coach, good morning. How are you this morning?
I'm doing great, Scott. It's good to be home after last weekend, and we're excited to have our first home series this year.
Yeah, and certainly, Dan, boy, I tell you what, before we talk a little bit more about tonight, I guess we haven't had a chance we didn't have a chance to visit after that run you had last year, and now we're thanks for joining me on the new platform that we've made the move to, but. Man, hey, I mean, when did that all sink in for you as an individual? And I guess you probably can't speak for any of your players, but, I mean, what a hell of a season you guys had last year.
It was pretty special. I think that, at the end of the day and the final buzzer goes and, we got that open net goal at the end of that game with Iowa State. It's, it was a relief. I was excited. It was a process of 3 years of success. That we had 2 years where we didn't get to participate in a national tournament, and so there was some sadness and frustration. And so then you get through that, and then there was an expectation. We had been so good that now we had an opportunity, and then to be able to do that at home in front of our crowd. There wasn't a better place or better feeling to have all that stuff happen for us.
Hey, Dan, when you talk about, when this whole thing started going back 3 years ago or whatever, did you think that was going to happen this fast?
No way. You hope when you start something that you're 500, you're successful, you can get some kids in that can play. And you don't embarrass yourself, and all of a sudden, we rip off 15 games in a row. We beat the defending national champ in Florida Gulf Coast on their ice. And that's when I knew, hey, this is going to go pretty well for us. And, and then it just continued to go. And recruiting is obviously that's an integral part of any college program. But it's made it easier because we've won. If we would have been 5-42 that first year, it would have been a lot harder to get guys to believe in something and think that this was a good place for them to go. So, it's made it easier. We've got some great local kids that have decided to stay at home. And, that's really turned recruiting as well and got the backing of our community.
Yeah, and Dan, you talk about that, speaking of that, obviously that ends and then you got some time and then you go into the recruiting and let's face it, success, winning breeds success and obviously winning brings interest to programs. How was your recruiting in the offseason?
We needed 4 guys, and I thought we got 4 really good ones. We kept Isaiah Thomas, who aged out of juniors, home. Great Century High School career and 2 years up in Estevan, and then in the North American League last year and a little bit in the NA3. He's going to be a dynamic player for us for a long time. Gives us a lot of speed and just excitement to be at the rink every day. Garrett Freeman is another kid that comes off of North Iowa, and he's going to be lights out for us too. They won the NA3 national championship last year, and he was an integral part of that. And their playoff run at points in 10 games in the playoffs. And then we got 2 great defensemen that add to the depth. We got 6 guys back from last year on our defensive core, and we really got 2 strong defensemen that are pushing for ice time. So, I think we're better. It's tough losing, Andy Huber up front. He's got a knack for the net and knows what to do on the power play. And so we're trying to figure that out and get a replacement. And we'll be fine with what we're doing right now. And it's going to be fun to see how it all, comes together.
Well, and speaking of that, then you start off this season, on October 1st. And, well, why not? I mean, why not, Dan? Why not pick up where you left off? You go to Iowa State, you win 2-1, you beat them 1-0 again, and then you take on the University of St. Thomas, win that 6-4, and that leads us in to tonight's game here. But, I mean, boy, I tell you what, I mean, it's just you just keep rolling to start this year.
Yeah, it's guys feel that excitement, that pressure that, hey, we've had success in the past. And we've had a 15 and a 14 and a 16-game winning streak to start our first 3 years. And so they know those things, and they're seeing that. That doesn't make or break your season. There's not going to be disappointment if we lose and don't see that a record or how great. But it puts that onus on them to say, hey, what is this year's team going to be remembered for? And after tonight, we hang that banner. We have that last special group with time with that group before, 10 years from now, whenever they come back to campus together. Or whatever it might be, this year's team is now going to be the focus. And we can always celebrate and talk about, last year's championship, but, we need to get rolling on 2021-22 and see what this year's team is going to be known for.
Well, certainly, and tonight the folks will get a good look at this year's hockey team, but more importantly tonight, Dan, it's really – an opportunity to give the guys to reflect and bring some guys back that are no longer with your team tonight as you unveil that banner tonight, over at the Starion Sports Complex at the Schwann Cadillac Rink in Mandan. And really, Dan, anytime, I don't care what sport it is, that you're unveiling a banner and it's a national championship banner, it's a special day, it's a special night, and I know, and it's on homecoming, but I mean, what do you got planned for tonight for the folks that are going to take into tonight's game?
Well, last night we gave out our championship rings to our guys. We had a team dinner, and then tonight before the game at 6:50, we've got about a 5-minute ceremony that things that'll be read. We've got some graphics to go up on the scoreboard. And then we've got the 2021 national champion banner to unveil, and we think it'll be a pretty nice moment for those guys. We've got everybody back except for Andy Huber, who's doing his duty serving our country in Washington right now with the National Guard. We're lucky to see him next week. He's going to come and watch games in Liberty. And he's a couple hours away, so he's going to be able to make it over there, and we'll give him his ring next weekend. So it's it's nice to be able to do that on a timely fashion as well. But we want people there early. We want to showcase this opportunity to celebrate last year's championship and show Minnesota what kind of crowd we have and give us the advantage right off the bat.
Well, yeah, certainly, and the advantage you certainly that home ice advantage is it certainly was good to you last year. And another thing too. Looking at some things this morning, you got a young man that's close to the 100 goal for his career. Alex Fleechek comes into the weekend with 99 career goals, and I'm guessing, knowing Fleechek and knowing what he's meant to your program, I'm guessing the fans may get a chance to see number 100 tonight.
I hope so. It's sick. He didn't score last. We won 3 games last weekend.
Yep.
And he and Seth Cushing didn't score. Those are our top two goal scorers over the past 2 seasons. And so that can tell you a lot about how we played.
Yeah.
We've got some depth, and, we didn't score a ton of goals. They were great defensive games. And you go back to, Kyle Hayden, our goaltender, was a national tournament MVP. Second team All-American last year. He came out and set in back-to-back nights, set the school wins record with 39 wins, going one more above Lance Knutson. And then the next night he comes out and sets the school record for a career shutouts with 10, and also beat Lance Knutson in that category. So he's started off extremely well. And we're lucky to have a kid like that in net for.
Well, and you talk about these, Dan, obviously being, a new of a program you are, and that's the one thing about these records. Records are made to be broken, but certainly, you want to set it as you're playing out. You want to set it as high as you possibly can, but really, that's something that is going to stick with these young men and be a part of University of Mary for forever.
Yeah, no doubt, and that's the special part for these guys that, and maturity of how we played last weekend, and even Lance, he's the girls' high school coach at Dickinson this coming year, and after each game last weekend, he contacted Kyle, congratulated him, and so he knows what that meant, and that he was kind of passing that torch. And so we've got a lot of good young men that are coming through and have gone through our program, and that's also great to see.
Well, yeah, no question about it. Well, certainly it all starts at the top. It starts with you, Dan, and what a great job that you've done, with this program and developing this program, and really give yourself a pat on the back, because it's certainly a special thing, and it'll be even more special tonight when that banner drops over at the Starion Sports Complex. Danny, appreciate you joining me this morning on the PSP Network, my friend. Best of luck tonight. Hey, and the season's underway, man. That means you and I got to talk a little bit more as the season goes on, all right?
Sounds great. And we got to beat mine out this year.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, buddy. Take care. Enjoy the evening. We'll talk again soon, all right?
Bye-bye.
All right, take care. Dan Huntley, the head hockey coach at the University of Mary, as they get set tonight to take on University of Minnesota. No, it's not the Minnesota Gophers. It's a different team, but nonetheless, they are going to unveil the championship banner tonight over at the Starion Sports Complex. We'll take another timeout, and when we come back, we were going to try to effort Larry Sandy. He was busy. His daughter had a volleyball game this morning, so we'll have to bump Larry Sandy, the head coach of Velva Garrison. But nonetheless, we come back. 9-man football playoffs are out. Everything else is starting to shape up. We'll talk with Chase Miller from Your Sports Network. We come back, get a little look at some of the teams out in the eastern half of the state, as we'll try and break down the 9-man playoffs and also the upcoming 11B, 11A, and the 11-2A playoffs. We come back with more on Overtime with Scott Woodmansee after this timeout.
You remember where this goes?
I don't know. Are you sure it was a clicking and not a zoom?
I think your quash litter valve's stuck.
Do you even have insurance?
If we soak it, it should be good.
No matter how much you know or don't know about your vehicle, trust the experts at Tires Plus. Real answers from real mechanics.
Purchase 4 eligible Firestone tires and receive up to $120 in a prepaid Visa gift card. Thinking service? Think Tires Plus.
With 28 on the shot clock, 53 on the game clock, sends it inside. Here's Allie Nelson to the right side. Cheddar's open, 4-3. On low, she scores!
PSP Network has one mission: promoting our local athletes while delivering pro-quality broadcast coverage. Stay up to date with the PSP Network on Twitter @NetworkPSP and on Facebook @The PSP Network. Like and follow our social media for your chance to win. PSP Network. It's game day. Whether you're looking for a full-service financial plan or planning for farm or business succession, Planning Team Financial Advisors is here to help you work toward achieving your financial goals. With locations in Bismarck, Garrison, and Center, our full-service team of professionals are dedicated to helping you work towards achieving your financial goals. Visit us online, planningteam.com. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member of FINRA and SIPC. Investment advice offered through GWM Advisors, LLC, doing business as Goss Advisors, a registered investment advisor. GWM Advisors, LLC, and Planning Team Financial Advisors are separate entities from LPL Financial.
Have real questions about your future? Here's your real answer. BSC offers hands-on training and a real college experience, making your future a reality. You don't have to travel far and wide for a really great education. Check us out at bismarckstate.edu.
BNC has been here for over 25 years.
We're still a community bank that's there for you.
When you come in with your business plan, your vision, your idea, we can make it a reality.
I love seeing projects come alive for our clients.
We're real people helping real people.
We know you, and we're always happy to see you.
We build relationships.
You're part of the BNC family.
We are part of the community.
It's what we're built on.
Yours truly, BNC.
Got big plans? No matter what the size of the project, Bobcat of Mandan has a tough Bobcat skid steer or track loader for any job. Call Bobcat of Mandan and rent the perfect machine. Rentals are available by the day, week, or month with multiple attachment options, and even a trailer when available. Special weekend rates too. Bobcat of Mandan also has Doosan excavators and payloaders, plus Coyote tractors for rent. Get the work done fast. Bobcat of Mandan on the Strip.
Would you enjoy waking up and not having to reach for your glasses? See clearly with Lasik from Bismarck Lasik. Imagine no more hassles or expenses of glasses and contacts. At Bismarck Lasik, our highly experienced LASIK surgeon, Dr. Stephen Wexler, and our state-of-the-art clinic can improve your vision through a quick corrective procedure that's affordable and life-changing. Book your free consultation with Bismarck Lasik. Call 701-222-2020, 701-222-2020, or schedule online at bismarcklasik.com.
Let's go back to the stadium and overtime with Scott Woodmansee.
Yeah, welcome back to the Stadium Lodge. Scott Woodmansee with you live in Northwest Bismarck. Glad to have you aboard this morning as we roll on into our 11 o'clock, roll through our 11 o'clock hour. If you're looking for a place to watch some college football, if you're on your way up to the Marauder game, stop in the Stadium Lodge, full-service menu, drink specials, number of TVs. Danny and the staff will certainly take care of you up here today at the Stadium Lodge. And joining me right now on the line is, from your live event out in the eastern half of the state is Chase Miller. Chase, good morning. How are you this morning, my friend?
You know, not too bad, Woody. It's rainy over here. It's Bison homecoming weekend as well, so I'm kind of with some Bison friends as we get ready for the 1 o'clock game against Northern Iowa. But overall, Woody, can't complain. It's a Saturday, and I know the 9-man bracket's released. I can't believe, Woody, there's no snow, and we're talking playoff football. It just doesn't feel right in North Dakota.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And, Chase, they did, let's start there. I think that for a lot of folks out in this part of the state, they know about the New Salem-Elmont Holsteins. They know about Divide County. They know a little bit about Napoleon. They know a little bit about Mott Regent, a little bit about Surrey, Ray Powers Lake. But it's some of those teams out in the eastern half of the state, Chase, and really the team with the number one seed, Lemoore, Litchfield, Marion. I mean, what can you tell us about some of these eastern 9-man football teams?
Well, I tell you what, Woody, the Lobos, they've just ran train on everyone that they've played so far this season. They've only had one team has actually scored on them, and that's Weimar-Lidgerwood. The Lobos were able to defeat Enderlin Maple Valley last night 30-0 in what was one of their closest games. Yeah, 30-0 was one of their closest games of the regular season. So they put up a lot of points. Defensively, they're really good. They brought back a bevy of players from last year's state semifinal team that lost to Linton HMB in the semifinals. And Cavalier, new coach kind of comes in, but Cavalier still the same old program that they've been with Coach Rod Oxendahl, with what they've been in previous years in 9-man. They're the champs of their region, able to get through pretty good competition in Mayport, CG, and Finley, Sharon, Hope Page. And, the one thing I've kind of thought throughout the year, Woody, is when I kind of saw the Lobos' first couple of games, I said, all right, this team's for real. And I think very deserving of the seed that they earned here, Woody, in 90 playoffs. I know Divide County The Maroons, they've had to go up against Ray Powers. Like, obviously, you mentioned the Holsteins. What we kind of seen with Siri in the past couple of years, and that program takes a step up every year, Woody. But I think Lamoriello-Marion is the class of 9B football. Now it's just a matter of what the next 4 or 5 weeks brings us to postseason here. And, don't sleep on Cavalier either. They're a team that got to the Dakota Bowl last year, state runners up to Layne H&B. They understand what a run it kind of takes. And, for these clubs that earn a bye weekend, try to rest up a little bit. And, all that they have to do, Woody, is win 3 games compared to 4 for some of these teams that got to play, already next Saturday.
Chase, the one thing that I'll ask you the question about that, obviously what we do when we're in the media and we cover this stuff and look at stuff, and was out looking at some things, and the one thing that I saw posed out there on some different sites was, has Lamoriello-Marion played anybody that is that competition? Do you know what I'm saying by that? I mean, are they really good, or are these teams really not very good?
Right, and I will answer it I'll play devil's advocate here, Woody, for you. So, number one, to answer your first question, I would agree. They probably really haven't played a Holstein kind of club. They haven't played a Cavalier kind of club this year. Now, with that being said, Weimar-Lidgerwood was a playoff team from a season ago.
Yep.
Hankinson was the caliber of a postseason team in the last couple of years in 9-man football. And, Enderlin Maple Valley was a really good squad, too. They were kind of playing for their postseason lives, depending on what happened with the Warbirds and Hankinson. If they took care of business against the Lobos, they would have been in. They lost. But, still what happened with the Warbirds. So have they played competition? Yes. But have they played a cross-state team like a Divide County, a New Salem, or Napoleon, or even a South Border for that matter? No, they haven't. So to your first part of your question, have they probably been tested to that kind of stability like Divide County going up against the Ray Powers Lake? No, I would probably say. But I would also counter with it going, you play what's on your schedule,
yes.
And some years, Woody, as you know, your region's really good, and
Yep.
there could be 3-4 teams in your region that could make the playoffs and they're anywhere else. Then there's other years where, maybe your region's down a little bit. They graduated a bunch of seniors. There's more sophomores playing than upperclassmen. And I think that's a little bit of the product with the redistricting or the re-regionalization of the 8 regions in the state, where some teams went to a different part. Layne HMB, they moved up to, 11-man football. So with that being said, Woody, they probably haven't been tested as much as some teams in this playoff bracket to this point.
And therein lies, Chase, the beauty of the 9-man football playoffs.
Yes, it does. It really does. I think, 9-man playoffs, Woody, you get that bye week, you hope to rest up, and then it's about matchups. I remember a team a couple years ago, Mayport CG, they got past the first round. They got past the second round with 2 road wins, and then they finally ran into state champ Weimar-Lidgerwood in the quarterfinals. But it's going to be curious to see any of those teams in the first round, how far can they get? And of those 8 seeds, Woody, how much of those seeds get the advantage of playing one less game to try to get to the Fargo Dome?
Yeah, no question about it. We're talking with Chase Miller from Your Live Event. He's live at the Fargo Dome right now. Chase, let's go from the bottom half of the spectrum to the top half of the spectrum. And the 11-2A playoffs is starting to take shape too. But, boy, I tell you what, there is a dandy going to take place in Fargo coming up next Friday night, as it's going to be a battle of number 1 and number 2. We saw the QRF rankings come out yesterday. Cheyenne 1, Century 2. But next week, Friday night in Cheyenne, it is going to be a battle of the 2 big dogs. And really, as we said last night on our broadcast, Chase, not saying it's going to happen, but this could be a preview of your 11-2A Dakota Bowl State Championship.
Well, yeah, and to your point, Woody, the last 2 years, that has been the championship, right?
Yes.
2 years ago, Century won in a slobber knocker. Points were hard to come by. And then last season, Century just had Cheyenne's number from the opening kickoff, and they had a really good game, a good game plan for Coach Ron Wingebach. For Coach Jeremy Newton, this is the hump. They have beaten Century before, but they haven't won the big game. And now it's going to be curious to see how much do you throw out there with Coach Newton, Coach Wingebach. How much do you show? Because you and I both know that regardless of what happens on Friday night, the winner's the 1 seed, the loser's the 2. They will both have home field advantage if they keep winning games, and they could very easily meet a month from now in the Dakota Bowl. So my question is, Woody, how much of the chess game do you throw out? How much of the game plan do you throw out? Would Cheyenne like to get over the hump and beat Century from a mental standpoint? Without question. I think the last 2 years you lose to Century in the postseason, haven't been able to score a point in either championship game. You probably are frustrated, and it might be more between the ears than actually between the lines when it comes down to Friday Night Lights, Woody. So with that being said, if Century loses or Cheyenne loses, unless it's by a wide margin or someone wasn't able to play because of injury or a turnover bug, I'm really curious to see how these coaches play against each other. But with what I've seen so far this year statewide and just looking at some scores, I would be very surprised if we don't see this as a rematch in about a month, Woody. I'm not saying that Shanley, West Fargo, Mandan aren't worthy. They can't make a run. But it seems like Century and Cheyenne so far have been the class of 11 AA, Woody.
And Chase, I'll throw this at you. And you look at this a couple ways. I guess the question will say is this the hump game for Coach Newton, or is it the title game that's the hump game for Coach Newton? And if you're Century and you're coming in there with 29 straight, knowing that you've had the number of the Mustangs is this a game maybe that you're okay losing?
I would say so, yeah. I would say for me, either part of perspective, you would love to win this game, obviously.
There's no question. No question about it.
Yeah, without question. You would love to win this game, obviously, if you're Century. I know Coach Wingenbach's not going to talk about the winning streak. I know he's not going to talk about, previous years. He will give all his previous championship teams a really good nod on the head, but he wants to talk about 2021 and what can Peyton Hart, what can Brady Dahl and those guys do. On the opposite side, I think it's probably a bigger game for Cheyenne, Woody, to see how close are they to Century, right?
Yeah.
Century literally has nothing to lose in this game. Defending champ, yes, they have the winning streak, but Langdon had a 44-game winning streak. They still got to get a ways, another a year and a half, 2 years to get to where Langdon was, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I think it's probably a more of an important game just because of how Century beat Cheyenne last year in the Dakota Bowl, where they handed the Mustangs a loss. They physically outworked them. They did everything with them. Kudos, again, to the coaching staff for Century. I think this is a bigger game, Woody. Even if Cheyenne loses, but they don't get thumped, just from a mental standpoint and more so between the ear standpoint, to know that, okay, if we see the other team on the opposite side, we feel like we can compete with them, if that kind of makes sense, Woody.
Yeah, it certainly does, as we got a few minutes left with Chase Miller from your live event, and so certainly that 11-2A game is going to be a big one next week. Bismarck Legacy will be a big one for seedings. But Chase, let's take a quick look at the on the 11B side of things. And Beaulah, the Beaulah Miners, they've been the cream of the crop. Tough one. They had a battle last night. They win that one 38-30 over Dickinson Trinity. But some other teams, obviously in the Eastern, you look at the most current poll in 11B, it's Beaulah and it's Velva Garrison. Well, Velva Garrison gets beat to Bishop Bryan last night, and the other three teams are in the eastern half of the state: Hillsborough Central Valley, Langdon area Edmore Munich, and Kindred. And then you've got Central Cass, Harvey Wells County, and you got Bowman County receiving votes. So certainly, not only is that 9-man going to be good, but this 11B is going to be exciting as well.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's going to be a game that's going to happen. Harvey Wells County at Central Cass to open up the postseason and what it looks like right now. Harvey Wells County, Woody, their two losses are by one possession to Langdon and Hillsborough. And Central Cass, their one loss on the year is to Kindred. And Central Cass his name is Owen Wiersma, junior running back, already with 1,000 rushing yards on the season in 8 games. Then they have a senior wide receiver, Jake Deutsch, who broke the single season school record in terms of receiving touchdowns with 12 so far in 8 games. Kindred, their offensive line and defensive line is very big. Lost to St. Mary's last year in the Class AA semifinals. Kindred's awfully good. Central Cass is awfully good. Langdon, Hillsborough, Central Valley. I don't need to say much more about those two programs. No. Harvey Wells County, they're no slouch at all, Woody. So I look at the northeast and the southeast regions, and I kind of sit there in Lisbon, walloped Sargent County yesterday 40-6. If the Broncos put some things together, they were a state runner-up from last year, losing to Langdon. So, I think the beasts from the East, Woody, there could be some really salivating matchups for guys like you and me in the first round. And, you might have a Langdon going to Kindred in the quarterfinals, potentially, is how it might look like. It's going to be wild in 11B.
Yeah, it certainly will be. And then the last one, Chase, we look at is the 11A. And certainly on that side of things, Jamestown, they've already won the West. St. Mary's won their first conference game last night. Their only conference game leading up to last night was against Beaulah, but then you've got the teams out in the East. I see Fargo North maybe gave Cheyenne a little bit of a scare, but from the Eastern side of things, Jay, who's that team to beat on the 11A side of things out in the Eastern half?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. Fargo North is awfully good. They beat Devils Lake on the road in Devils Lake. Their 2 losses are to Cheyenne and Dickinson. And Dickinson's probably the best, 2-4, 2-5 team, I think, in the state with just who they played in terms of a record-wise. North beat Fargo South for the first time in a decade over this year. They got that monkey off their back. So they're the class of the East. And it's kind of everyone else. It's depending on the weekend. Red River looks good one weekend. Then Fargo South, if they can get Covey Jones there, running back and linebacker, if he comes healthy. They got a lot of sophomores. They got a lot of speed, but it's just about how are they able to continue to grow. And then you look at Grand Forks, Red River, and then Wapaton puts up a bunch of points, but then they get thumped by Bismarck St. Mary. So I think from an Eastern side, Fargo North is definitely the team to beat with what Coach Adam Rowland has been able to do. Up front, there's a bevy of juniors and seniors on the offensive line. They have a 2-horse running back system that can run it down to your throat. And then they like to play really salty defense. So if Fargo North can continue to play the way they're doing, avoid injuries over these next, week or two, I think Fargo North will be the team from the Eastern side. And then, as you know, Woody, it's just a matter of which team can kind of get hot in the last 2 weeks here and maybe put themselves in that QRF standpoint and get themselves in enough and maybe sneak in as being a team that might be a little bit more challenging for a Jamestown or for a Bismarck St. Mary's once you get to the postseason.
Well, fasten your seatbelt, my friend, as it's going to be a long ride. It's going to be a fun ride, but it should be, as I said, it's going to be a lot of fun coming up. But, Chase, hey, man, as always, appreciate the time and enjoy this afternoon's homecoming game. And we'll talk again soon. We'll see you down the road as well, all right?
Hey, look forward to what he's seeing you in a press box and a really good playoff game coming up here in the next couple of weeks. Thanks,
all right.
Man.
Yep, take care. Chase Miller from Your Live Event, live from the Fargo Dome as they are at the homecoming game for the Bison, taking on Northern Iowa this afternoon. We'll take another timeout. We come back, talk a little baseball. We'll talk with the general manager of the Bismarck Larks, John Bollinger. Back with more on Overtime with Scott Woodmansee after this timeout.
You remember where this goes?
I don't know. Are you sure it wasn't clicking?
I think your quash litter valve's stuck.
Do you even have insurance?
If we soak it, it should be good.
No matter how much you know or don't know about your vehicle, trust the experts at Tires Plus. Real answers from real mechanics.
Purchase 4 eligible Firestone tires and receive up to $120 in a prepaid Visa gift card. Thinking service? Think Tires Plus.
With 28 on the shot clock, 53 on the game clock, sends it inside. Here's Allie Nelson to the right side. Cheddar's open, 4-3. On low, she scores!
PSP Network has one mission: promoting our local athletes while delivering pro-quality broadcast coverage. Stay up to date with the PSP Network on Twitter @NetworkPSP and on Facebook @The PSP Network. Like and follow our social media for your chance to win. PSP Network. It's game day. Whether you're looking for a full-service financial plan or planning for farm or business succession, Planning Team Financial Advisors is here to help you work toward achieving your financial goals. With locations in Bismarck, Garrison, and Center, our full-service team of professionals are dedicated to helping you work towards achieving your financial goals. Visit us online, planningteam.com. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member of FINRA and SIPC. Investment advice offered through GWM Advisors, LLC, doing business as Goss Advisors, a registered investment advisor. GWM Advisors, LLC, and Planning Team Financial Advisors are separate entities from LPL Financial.
Let's go back to the stadium and overtime with Scott Woodmansee.
Yeah, welcome back to the Stadium Lodge. Scott Woodmansee with you live in Northwest Bismarck. Glad to have you aboard on the PSP Network. If you're looking for a place to watch the Bison game or any college football, make the Stadium Lodge your home this afternoon. number of TVs, full-service menu, as Danny and the staff will take care of you up here at the Stadium Lodge. Well, we roll into our final guest of the day on Overtime, and joining me right now, their season, it's been over a few months, and I think he's been spending some time maybe on the golf course. It's the general manager of the Bismarck Larks, John Bollinger. Johnny, good morning. How are you this morning?
I am doing great, Scott. How are you?
Well, things are good, John, and I guess I guess I'll ask you: have you been able to take a little time away from things, or have you just got things back into full swing for the upcoming 2022 season?
Yeah, the off season's always nice. Get a little bit of time, more of a normal work week, 8 to 5. But while I do enjoy golfing and have gotten out a little bit more, I actually have a 4-month-old now, my wife and I. So that's really taken up most of my time, but it's been a pretty good use of my time. So spending it with them, seeing family, it's been good.
Well, that's good, and congratulations too as well. But John, I guess let's go back to this past season. That ended in the summertime, and on the field, probably not the numbers, the record you wanted to see, but more importantly, I guess I want to ask you. How did you guys, as far as the crowds and things like that, with what we've been going through with this COVID? I mean, you had to feel pretty pleased. Did you feel pretty pleased with, how this season ended as a whole in general?
Yeah, well, I think you bring up a good point. 2021 really was a way to get back to normal. Again, 2020 was just a incredibly crazy experience. We feel so fortunate we were able to play baseball. I mean, I don't think a lot of people know this. In 2020, we were the first baseball team in the entire country, I think any sport team, to play an organized sport with fans in the stands. We put together a unique plan, separated out the ballpark with social distancing, and we played 72 home games here. So 2021 was our chance to get back. And while it was still some uncertainties, we felt really obligated to bring a lot of the players we had in 2020 back. So it was pretty neat. Usually we only get 5 or 7 guys that return. We actually had 23 guys that returned from 2020, and we were able to give them the full Northwoods League experience. So as you mentioned, again, on the field, I wish we would have had a better record. We actually, we were pretty competitive in the first half. We had 4 All-Stars, got to see some great guys. And then, towards the second half, kind of lost a few guys to injury and then had to head back. So it wasn't the best, on the field to end the season. But, again, gave the guys a great experience. The fans, we were back 92% sold out for the year, our second best season ever. So, I mean, people were ready to come back, get back to normal, see baseball. And so with that, I mean, I'd say it was a tremendous success.
Yeah, it certainly was, and you got to feel when you've got that kind of an attendance record, and I think people are certainly starting to catch on and just enjoy being at the ballpark. But I guess, John, I'm sure you already have, but now you put that season to bed. You've got through hopefully what we needed to get through, and hopefully this thing starts to take a little bit of a break. Doesn't appear to be doing so, but have you started the process for 2022 already?
Yeah, and we're so excited. I mean, it's when you're thinking last year putting together a roster per se. Again, we really felt loyal to the guys that played with us in 2020. So our roster was pretty much set. We got a couple new guys, but we wanted to bring them back to give them the full experience. Well, now Coach Flint, he knows what the Northwoods League season is like, how competitive it is, how to build the roster. So, and I told him, well, we focus on the entertainment in the stands. I mean, we want to win. We want to have the best guys here. We want the best prospects. And so Coach Flint, I mean, he's got some great experience. He knows the game of baseball. So he out there actively recruiting. We feel really good about our team so far. And he's looking actually, too, for some new assistant coaches. And so, again, he knows our focus is on winning and bringing in great guys of talent and character. And so I'm excited to see what he's going to put together for the 2022 season.
Well, yeah, certainly it is. And, boy, I tell you what, Coach, he's just done such a great job. And I really think that, having talking to him the number of times I have, I mean, he's really embraced the communities of Bismarck and Mandan.
He has. No, he loves it here. He told me, he said, John, as long as you'll have me, I want to be here. And what we got in Coach Flynn is a guy, he played AAA ball. He played professionally in Japan, overseas. I mean, what I want to do is bring in coaches that can give these top college players, the expectation of what it's going to take to be great. And I told him, I said, Coach, I want guys here at Bismarck that they can make it to the pros. They can get drafted. You know, they want to play at that next level. And so with his pedigree and his knack for talent, with what we're doing in Bismarck, I mean, again, there's not a lot of places these guys can play in front of sold-out crowds like this, you know, and have the experience we have in Bismarck. So we really have a unique opportunity here. And so now, kind of post-COVID, you know, the thing for us is to hit the gas pedal, put together a great team, and keep making the experience even that much better for our fans and their fans.
Well, and one of the things that I see, John, that you guys do so very well is all these promotions and things. But the one thing that really that stands out to me is, talk to me about this. We're gonna try to break the oil change record again. Current record at 122, coming up on a Saturday, October 16th. Next Saturday, you're at 122. But man, I tell you what, so you take this 122 to say you go to 144. What does it ever stop?
Well, you know, so again, so get off the field for a second, right? I tell our staff, you know, coaches to get the best players, and he's got that direction from me, and we want to win. But I tell our team all the time, guys, we don't control winning and losing. Our front office staff, we're trying to use fun to make a difference, and that's make a difference for our fans. That's use fun to make a difference for this community, and that includes our businesses. I mean, businesses want to have fun, right? So we have amazing sponsors. Without our sponsors, we can't do this, and so we love to ask the question: how can we do fun promotions with our sponsors that also make it fun for a fan? And let's be honest, getting your oil change is not fun. You know, it's that thing you're like, oh God, I have to get my oil changed. You know, when am I going to do that? Like, how long is it going to take? And so Tires Plus here in town, they're just an amazing partner. They have the new, Valvoline up north here. It's 15 minutes to go get your oil change. Yep. So we started scratching our heads. We said, well, how the heck can we make this fun? And we found out, Minot, the Tires Plus in Minot has this record of 122, and we broke the Bismarck record this summer. And I said, Jared, the owner at Tires Plus, I said, we gotta freaking beat that. Bismarck's got to have this. So he said, heck yeah, man. He's a Minot guy, but he said, let's do it. So we're going to provide breakfast from Dunn Brothers if you stop by in the morning. There's going to be lunch from Qdoba if you stop by at lunch. And then in the afternoon, you can get a $10 gift card if you come up there and get your oil changed. We got Fizzly, Sky Zone, Pizza Ranch. So there's all these things you can get if you go get your oil changed on the 16th. It's also going to be special prices. So very, discounted oil changes. And we're going to have music and entertainment. So it's going to be a party. So, stop by, have some fun, get your oil changed, and, let's break the record. So that's what it's all about.
I think it's an awesome promotion. Jared Lundeen, I know that. He was a great sponsor of the Dakota Wizards and such a great guy. I know he's a sponsor for us on this PSP network. And, John, just a couple minutes left, I guess, before we let you go. I want to ask you, when you talk about the overall league, and I know when you guys brought this town to Bismarck, and I know there's been some chatter going around that, will we see one in Minot? Will we see one in Dickinson? Will we, somewhere? Is there anything on the forefront for that? And maybe you can tell us that, maybe you can, but will we ever see it, maybe another Northwoods League team in the state of North Dakota?
Yeah, Scott's a great question. I mean, our league is always looking to expand. We want to bring great baseball. The Northwoods League, the difference between us and any other leagues that might be around, this league's been around 29 years, over 260 Major League Baseball players. The league has the pedigree and the experience to go in communities and stay there for a long, long time. So, again, other communities, obviously if they are interested in having Northwoods League baseball, I know the league is very interested. We would love to have a traveling partner that's in this state to kind of make a rivalry. So if that interest is out there, again, we would definitely welcome and open those conversations to have more Northwoods League teams in this great state, because it'd be fun. I'd love to have a Bismarck Minot rivalry or a Bismarck Dickinson or Grand Forks rivalry. It would be fun.
Yeah, no question about it. Well, Johnny, hey, I appreciate your time this afternoon, where we're at right now. And, hey, keep up the great work. I'm going to see if I need my oil change. Maybe I'll try and be a part of that next Saturday. But what a great promotion. Keep up the great work. As always, appreciate the time. We'll talk again soon, all right?
Scott, thanks so much for having me, and I'll see you on the 16th.
All right, sounds good, buddy. Take care.
Yeah.
There you have it, John Bollinger from the Bismarck Larks. As another not a successful season on the field, but it was a good season for them off the field as well. They do such a great job. Do the Bismarck Larks. Well, that's going to put a wrap on another edition of Overtime with Scott Woodmansee. We want to thank all of our guests this morning. Brian Filibek, Layne Sedevie, Nate Nelson from Divide County, Rod Miller, Dan Huntley, also to Chase Miller and to John Bollinger. Reminder, lots of PSP network coverage coming up, particularly this Friday. We're going to have 3 games for you, Bismarck High and Legacy. We'll have Minot High for you as well, and we're going to have West Fargo Cheyenne and Century. So lots of football coming up on the PSP network. So enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Again, make the Stadium Lodge your home. Folks filing in, a lot of Minnesota Duluth parents in here as they get set to take on Mary for the homecoming game. Some Bison fans filing in. They're about an hour away from the start of that one. So make the Stadium Lodge your home this afternoon. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, Scott Woodmansee saying so long from the Stadium Lodge.
You remember where this goes?
I don't know. Are you sure it was a clicking and not a zzz?
I think your quash later valve's stuck.
Do you even have insurance?
If we soak it, it should be good.
No matter how much you know or don't know about your vehicle, trust the experts at Tires